All right, everyone. So Kurt Angle would be willing to return to wrestling, to return to the WWE, if he could be the manager for Chad Gable. Now, it needs to be the case that it's worth it for him, but we're going to read his quote from a show. They never actually considered the heel manager, at least with Chad. For some reason, they never decided to do another Team Angle or me team up with Alpha Academy. I think it would be a great idea. If I were going to do it, it has to be worth it for me. And Angle had other very nice things to say about Chad Gable. So the first thing we want to talk about is I love the fact, okay, I absolutely love the fact that in a world that constantly has people who are, tearing others down or, trying to make sure everybody knows that they're better than the other person or, whatever, okay? Um, he's handling it right. People love Kurt Angle. He was one of the best heels I've ever seen. I mean, just based off the fact the crowd would every time he comes in, you suck, all that. And he's saying, look, Chad Gable is doing things similar to what I did, and he's doing it wonderfully. He even went as far as to say, I don't know if I could have done it better than he's doing it. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's like it's something that Kurt Angle should take pride in. It's like this is a guy who's similar to me, probably watched me as a kid. Like he loves everything about this. So I love the way Kurt Angle's handling this. That's the first thing. The second thing is should he return? And 100%, right? And there's always this thing in wrestling that you have to make sure that you don't rely too much on the old or too much on the new. And what I mean by that is like if you go back to WCW, right? WCW almost exclusively in its end and it ended up being one of its undoings, almost exclusively relied on older WWE stars. And that's part of the reason you saw this soaring ratings for them because everybody was like, I love those guys. I'm going to watch them. But then as they grew older, or as they grew more stale, as the product grew more stale, and there were other problems too, you saw that there was no one to take the torch, right? There was no one to take the torch and say it's this is why you watch WCW now. And so the lesson from that is not that you shouldn't bring back old stars. The lesson from that is you have to mix the two, right? And so WWE does a fantastic job, at least they have recently, of doing this. And I think WrestleMania was a perfect example of it, right? Somehow you had a storyline with the Bloodline and Cody Rhodes in which you were able to utilize The Rock, a older star. You were able to utilize The Undertaker, a older star, and you were able to utilize Cody Rhodes, a newer star, Roman Reigns, a newer star. I know these guys have been around, right? But in compared to The Rock and The Undertaker, they're newer. And you were able to put them together, and it made the perfect mix of what everybody wanted to see. Not only did the new guys just go up in rank, right now they just got even more popular, but you utilize the old guys to do it. It's almost in a way giving back to wrestling. And I think with Kurt Angle coming back, if WWE is able to make it work out, or if it's even something that's being considered, it would bring so much more heat even to Chad Gable because it's like, okay, now every time these two come out, you got the you suck chants going when Angle's out there. And it's just he's able to kind of get that onto Chad Gable, right? And this will give Gable a chance to really just make a big time run, and be able to do much bigger things, right? Because now people will be paying even more attention to him because that's how it goes, right? Someone like Angle come, it's like Paul Heyman, right? What makes Paul Heyman such a good manager? Well, when he's with somebody, whether it's Brock or Roman Reigns or whoever it is, he brings added heat to them, right? Even if these guys would have been stars on their own, he brings them that added heat, and it either expedites their stardom, or it's just super helpful. So we'll see what ends up happening. But I thought this was awesome from Angle. I'm personally rooting for it just so I can see it. Doesn't mean Angle has to be there all the time, but like he says, it has to be worth it for him. So I hope WWE makes it worth it for him because I think it would be at least something cool to see. So thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time.